Welcome to Straight Talk with me, Noah Lee. This is podcast number 6, the show where we talk to content creators on YouTube. With me today is a guest from Cameroon who's now staying in Shanghai doing his MBA in business. He has a YouTube channel, Business Connect with Roy. Without further ado, let me welcome Roy Mbifi. So, Roy, thank you for joining the show. It's a pleasure to have you on.
Thank you so much, Noel. Thank you so much for welcoming me. It's a pleasure being on your show. I'm grateful.
Right. So for viewers who are seeing you for the first time, can you tell us a bit more about yourself?
Okay. Thank you so much. My name is Roy Mbifi. I'm from Cameroon. And actually, I've been in China for about 3 years. I think this is my 4th year now. I came to China to study. I did my MBA in Jiangsu University. Then I graduated from Jiangsu University. Then I got a job in Shanghai where I'm working now in Shanghai. So I've been in Shanghai for over 7 months now. I've been working in Shanghai, and that's how I found myself in China and in Shanghai. And I decided a few months ago in February to start a YouTube channel. I started my YouTube channel in February this year, and I've struggled to raise over 1,300 subscribers, and I just monetized my channel a few weeks ago. And I just try to create content about business. Like, I just talk about business development, entrepreneurship, and I also share my experience in China. I share the things that I go through. I share opportunities, business opportunities for those who are interested in business, and I talk a little bit about what China is up to, and especially for those who have negative maybe aspects about China, I try to bring the positive view, the positive side of it, and share what I go through in China. So that's just me.
Right, Roy, thank you so much. So yeah, you mentioned that you are doing videos sharing the positive aspects of China. Can you give us some examples of what you have done?
Yeah, actually, okay, about the positive views, like for example, in one of my videos, I showed like the driverless subway. I visited the newly created line 15, I think, where I showed people how the subway functions, the driverless subway, how clean and nice the subway is. I also did a video where I visited like temples and to show how Chinese people worship, like the worship style of Chinese people, the beautiful temples. I also did a video, the temples I visited, the Longhua Temple, and I also visited the Jinan Temple. And I also did a video around the Bund where I showed the beautiful sides of Shanghai and how beautiful the city is. I also did a video where I went to the Bund Tunnel to show how you can move from one side of the city to the other. Then I also did a video of a city tour where I took the city bus that toured from Pudong, Tongchao, like the city bus, the one that goes like round the city. And then I also share social aspects in China, like marriage, love, and I just share my experience. Like, I also did a video where I said what you can do in Shanghai with 2 yuan. Like, what can someone do in Shanghai with just 2 RMB? That was just like for fun. Like, take the cruise from one side of the river to the other, which cost just 2 yuan. And a lot of people didn't know that taking the cruise from one side of the river in Shanghai was just 2 RMB. So I just do videos like that, sharing my experience in China and then sharing life in general in China.
Let me ask you, are you able to speak in Mandarin?
Well, for my almost 4 years now in China, I think my Chinese really sucks. Like, I can understand quite good, but I can just speak for survival. Like, if I find myself in a situation where I'm lost, I can find my way. I can try to ask someone like, this way, can I go to the subway from here? Can I do this? Or if I go to the supermarket or to the mall to buy something, I can try to talk. Like, I can just speak for survival, but I can't really sustain. Like, for example, the interview I'm having with you now, I can't sustain such an interview in Mandarin.
As time goes by, you will gradually be able to adapt and maybe improve your Mandarin as you go along, right?
Of course.
So tell me, Roy, what made you actually come to China to pursue this MBA? Were there other options available for you?
Okay, this is a very difficult question. This is a question that I've been asked several times. Like, why China? Why did you come to China? Why not study in the US? Why not study in Canada? Why not study in the UK? Like, a lot of friends, even my family, when I made the decision to come to China for studies, my family was like, but why China? Okay, the first thing that really motivated me was because I got a scholarship. So the scholarship was the first thing that motivated me. Because take for instance, if I was to go study in the UK or in Canada or in the US, I would have spent thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars, which I didn't have at the time. I was in Dubai before I came to China. I was in Dubai. I was working in Dubai. I had saved just a little for my survival. I didn't have enough money that could sustain an MBA degree. So I told myself, but I really want to do something better. Like I want to start a business because I'm business inclined. I want to start a business. I want to be an entrepreneur. But I had just a bachelor's degree at the time, and I thought, okay, but I know China is good at business. Like there are a lot of business opportunities in China. What is it that I can really learn? How can I learn such business strategies? How can I really engage myself in the business culture in China? And then someone advised me that the best way to involve in business culture in China is to stay in China for a while, get to know the people, get to know how the Chinese business philosophy, try to study how Chinese people do business. And the best way of doing this is by studying a degree, either a bachelor's degree in business or a master's degree. So at that moment, at that time, I already had a bachelor's degree in business. So I said, okay, why not try a master's degree? So I applied for an MBA, which I did that in Jiangsu University. So then I know China is so business inclined, like one of the top countries as far as business is concerned in the world. So I thought there would be no other place to learn business than in China. So you see, these are the two top reasons. Then also the third reason was I really wanted to to like experience a new culture. You know, when I was young, we used to watch Chinese movies. We used to watch the movies on TV, and we saw the Chinese lifestyle, China, and so on. So I thought, okay, this is an opportunity for me to study in China and then experience the China that we only watched in TV years ago. So these were the three things that really encouraged me to study in China.
Well, Roy, you mentioned that you actually watched Chinese TV in Cameroon.
Yeah, we watched a lot of like kung
Okay.
fu, karate, especially kung fu karate. Like we watched a lot of Jet Li, Jack Shen, especially the Kung Fu Kid, Kung Fu Panda, and so on. We watched that when we were young.
I see.
So that was the only thing that we knew about China. Before I came to China, the only thing I knew about China was karate, kung fu, and so on.
Can you tell us a bit more about your home in Cameroon and let us, dive in to understand a bit more about.
Okay, for those who don't know where Cameroon is found in Africa, in West Africa. You know, sometimes people get a little bit confused whether Cameroon is in West Africa or is in Central Africa. But we will say Cameroon is found in Western Central Africa because part of Cameroon is in the west and part of Cameroon is in Central Africa. So we identified with the west and central part of Africa. That is where Cameroon is located. And where I come from in Cameroon, the two official language, actually English is like a second language in Cameroon. Let me not say a second language, it's like the minority language in Cameroon because the two official languages in Cameroon are English and French, with French being the majority. Like 80% of the country speaks French and just 20% speaks English because Cameroon was colonized by the British and the French. So when the colonial masters left, we inherited the language. That's why I can speak English, and that's why I can speak a little bit of French because I studied in the in the French university back home. So actually, what else can I say about Cameroon? It's except you can ask me some specific questions about Cameroon because there's a lot to talk about Cameroon. It's an African country and it identifies a lot of things that are found in Africa. Well, it's not like a too developed. It's an underdeveloped country. It's a developing country like every other African country, but it's not. We have cities. We have big cities. We have the villages. We have the suburbs. But the thing is, the picture that the Western media usually paints about most African countries, Cameroon inclusive, is usually very, I don't know, very degrading. But for those who have had the opportunity to travel to most African countries, you're going to realize that Africa is really far, far better than what the media paints. I know a lot of other YouTubers whose mission is actually to change this perspective. Like they travel all around Africa to show the media, to show the Western media, the world, or the Cameroon, or the Africa that the media is hiding.
That's a very good point, because I think I should be actually watching more YouTube videos on Africa, on Cameroon, to better understand it, right? Because as you said it very well,
Yeah.
the what most of us are exposed to with Africa is what the mainstream media is wanting us to see. Even those images of children so-called
Children
starving
dying,
and all these things.
starvation, people killed, people fighting, and so on. You know, that is a very negative aspect because people want to trend by projecting the negative aspect. You know, even this is something that is happening even with vloggers, YouTubers now. It's like when they show the negative things, people are more prone to view the negative things than the positive things. Like even if someone wants to trend today, he just goes online and speaks negative about someone or speaks something bad about another country or about a group of people, and that is what people like to hear. So the mainstream media and a lot of other big media houses, they have just painted this Africa so black that even while I'm in China, a lot of my friends, my Chinese friends and other people still ask me like, is do you really have this in Africa? Do people live in houses in Africa? Do people have electricity in Africa? Do people have food to eat? Like, I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, are you really serious? Like, do people have food to eat, water to drink? Africa is like every other place. In China, we have the rural community, we have the urban community, we have the cities. The same like in Africa, in Cameroon, where we have the cities, we have the rural community, and we have the suburbs. So I think it's just that it's really difficult to say everything on a single video, and I know people will not have that patience to listen to me talk and talk and talk and talk. But I'll just tell you, like Cameroon is a nice place for those who like to visit, or just go. And then another very funniest thing is that even if you go online and try to find information, like try to Google information, you're still gonna find the negative thing because that is what has been infested, that people have uploaded a lot of negative stuff about countries that even if you try to Google or if you try to search videos or you try to search things on the internet, you're still going to find very negative things, but which is very far from the reality if you actually visit the country.
Right. So I think it's a great thing on this platform. We are actually trying to bring about what we see with our own eyes and experience and the truth to the audience
Yes.
out there who are in their own countries and places, and they're relying on mainstream media to give them the picture, which is not true, as we all know. So it's good to know, right? It's good to know that Africa, Cameroon is exactly like any other place in the world.
Exactly like any other
Yeah,
place in the world.
I would love to have the opportunity to see more places myself. I have people that I know who have actually seen many places in the world, over 100 over countries, and
Oh
I
yeah.
think these are the people who are well positioned to actually give proper commentary about what a place really is as compared to what we think it is. So I think it's very
Right.
good. I mean, I'm so happy to be able to make a connection with you. I'm so happy that you accepted my invite to be on the show, and
I'm
now I have
grateful.
a Cameroon friend, and then you have a
I'm grateful.
Singaporean
I'm
friend now.
grateful. Yeah, of course I have a Singaporean friend. I'm grateful to have you as a friend.
So besides,
Yeah.
you mentioned that you traveled to other places besides China before.
Yeah, when I left Cameroon, I traveled to Dubai. I worked in Dubai for 3 years before I came to China. So I think apart from China, Dubai is one of the countries where I've stayed for over a year, apart from my country. So I've just
Okay.
been to these two places. Like, very, very interestingly to know, like Singapore is one of the visa-free countries for Cameroonians. Like, if I need to travel to Singapore, I don't need a visa. So I was really planning that this year I was supposed to travel to Singapore. But
Really?
because of the virus, all my plans of traveling have just been shattered because I would have just needed to book a flight ticket. I don't need a visa. Like I have a visa upon arrival if I have to travel to.
Yeah, it's good to know that you had wanted to plan to go to Singapore.
I really had the plan. I had the plans to travel to Singapore.
All right, Roy. On your other platform, is it on WeChat? You actually posted some inspirational videos.
Yeah, I post some inspirational videos as well, motivational videos. Like I tell stories and bring out messages from the stories. Like there are a lot of messages that I told just by using stories. So I started posting on my videos on my YouTube channel. Then I decided, okay, let me look for another media. Like I really wish I could use other Chinese mainstream medias like Weibo and Bilibili, but just because I can't really operate the platforms because they are entirely in Chinese. I have an account on Weibo and I have an account on Bilibili, but and even on TikTok, but it's really difficult to peruse through the platform because it's entirely in Chinese and it's difficult for me to really engage with the audience, like communicate with the people. So sometimes I just post a video, and if there are more things to do on the platform, I really cannot run it. So I just use the WeChat channel to post very short messages, short videos about just giving inspiration and motivation about life through short stories.
So, what actually, I mean, how did you come up with all these stories? Did you get it from somewhere, or are they entirely on your own?
Well, some of the stories are fairy tales, are stories that we were told when we were young. Some of the stories are stories that my grandmother told me or my grandparents told me when I was young. Some of the stories are stories that I learned from from primary school. Some of the stories that are stories that I read on books or I just found them on the internet. Like I get them from diverse places. It's not a single. I don't just go online and then just take them from somewhere. Like I just see it sometimes and then I get inspiration. Like, oh, we were told this story. Some of them are actually biblical stories, like from the Bible, because I'm a Christian. Some of them are biblical stories. Like they are just like different stories, but which pass a very unique message.
Well, we will now share one of your favorite inspirational and motivational videos for the audience to see.
There was a blind girl who hated herself purely for the fact that she was blind. The only person she loved was her boyfriend, who was always there for her. She said that if she could only see the world, she would marry him. One day, someone donated a pair of eyes for the girl. Now she could see everything, including her boyfriend. Her boyfriend asked her, "Now that you can see the world, will you marry me?" But the girl was shocked when she realized that her boyfriend was blind too, and she refused to marry him. Her boyfriend walked away in tears and later wrote a letter to her saying, "Take good care of my eyes, dear." He had donated his own eyes to the girl so she could see, but now that the girl can see, she refused to marry him because he is blind. When circumstances change, so does our minds. Some people might not be able to see the way things were before and might not appreciate them. There are many things to take away from this story, not just one. When our circumstances change, we look at people differently. We wish we had things, but the moment we get them, the moment we have them, the moment we achieve them, our mindset completely change. Ladies and gentlemen, share this message with someone and encourage someone to always be the same no matter the circumstances, to remain the same no matter how the circumstances change.
Well, that was quite a motivational video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. So for more of that, you can go check out Roy's channel on WeChat or his YouTube channel.
Yeah. On my YouTube channel. My YouTube channel is just like you can see the T-shirt I'm wearing on is actually my YouTube T-shirt. Like you can see business. Then you can just add Business Connect with Roy. So this is my YouTube channel. If you want to check out my YouTube channel, it's Business Connect with Roy. and you find me.
Right. So anyway, Roy, you mentioned that you're a Christian. So in China, are you able to, go to the church for Sunday mass or something?
Actually, when I was in my former city, because where I did my MBA in Jiangsu province, in Zhenjiang, actually, we usually had a church. We usually go to church there on Sundays. But after the outbreak of the virus, the church was closed and we couldn't go to church anymore. And after that, now I've come to Shanghai, and since I came to Shanghai, I've not really had the opportunity to find a church at a convenient location. And so since then, I've not been able to go to church again. I just do my prayers.
All right. So anyway, Roy,
Yeah.
so for your particular MBA, do you intend to actually carry on pursuing your career in China, or do you intend to go back to Cameroon, or what are the plans?
Okay, actually, I started my YouTube channel with the intention of like raising an audience, starting like a brand, because I want to do something like my own brand, and I need an audience. I need people to talk to. So I want to do international trade, which means that there are things in China that I will identify that I can sell them in my country. There are businesses in Cameroon that are looking for things to buy in China. So I try to create like a platform where these businesses can find their products in China. Right now, I'm still trying to identify a very profitable business, like a very profitable business, because I don't want to be doing a lot of things. If it is electronics, I want to stay in electronics. If it is fashion, I want to stay in fashion. If it is household equipment, if it is electrical, and so on. So I'm still doing my little survey. I'm still doing my analysis now. And I thought by the end of this year, I would have come out with something very concrete, like register a business, because in China, I need to register a company where I'll be operating my business from. So my objective now is to register this company, and then by next year, my objective is to start operating. Like by the end of this year, I have two objectives. One, register the company, and then identify that particular area of operation.
I guess you're still searching for maybe some kind of a commodity to trade. Is that the ultimate goal, to do some trading versus maybe some other kind of business?
Yeah, I'm still trying to identify that, but because I'm looking also at the convenience of transporting this thing, because there are a lot of things that you can find in China and they're very profitable, and you think like this is a very good business to invest in. But when you look at the logistics, like the complexities in the logistics, like transporting these things home, when you look at the taxes, when you look at the custom hurdles, you realize that it's very difficult to engage in such businesses. So I'm looking at it on both sides. Like, okay, it's a profitable business. Now, what about actually taking these things home? What is the process of really identifying the right route and the legal ways of taking this stuff home? I'm trying to identify that.
So, Roy, have you, I guess, adjusted very comfortably, very easily into life in China versus life back in Cameroon? Are there like, some things that you were unable to get accustomed to, some things that you really love about China, and some things that you don't really like about it? Could you just share with us your thoughts?
Yeah, I said the first difficulty or the first problem that I faced in China, and that I think that every foreigner or most foreigners face in China, is the problem of the language. Like, it's really difficult to adapt because everything is a struggle. You want to go out with the language. You want to buy something. You want to communicate with someone. You want to travel. You want to do everything. So everything, you need the language. It's very difficult to find someone that will conveniently speak to you in English. So everything that you need to so sometimes there are a lot of gaps in transactions. Like, there are so many times that I've bought things in China and then I receive the wrong thing, or I receive not the exact what I was expecting. Not because they deceived me, but maybe because I failed to buy the right thing, or maybe to give the right description of what I need. So the wrong thing was posted to me. sometimes foreigners might think that maybe they did it intentionally. They might be like tricky in tricking you to buy the wrong thing. Sometimes I don't know, but there are a lot of times that I've bought the wrong thing. Yeah, like on Taobao and on other online shopping platforms. Like it's really difficult to peruse through some of these social platforms. The language. That's the first thing.
Right.
The second thing now would be the food. Well, for me, I didn't really face difficulties with the food because I'm not a very picky person, so I didn't face a lot of problems with the food. And the kind of food that we eat back home, most of the things you'll find in China, it might just be prepared in a different way. For example, if rice is prepared in Cameroon and rice is prepared in China, you might find two different things, but the end thing is still rice. So even if I can't eat the rice outside, I can buy the rice and prepare it myself. Like most vegetables that you find in Cameroon, you find in China. Most tubers, most food stuff that you find in Cameroon, fish, meat, beef, and so on. Most of the things, even the spices, most of the things you find in China. So for the food, I didn't really face a lot of difficulties because if I can't eat out at the restaurant, I can buy the stuff, the raw stuff, and cook them myself. It's just that sometimes when you get too busy, maybe you don't have time to cook, then you're forced to eat at the restaurant. But I've already adapted to that, so I think I don't have any difficulties as far as food is concerned. I think these are the two difficulties. These are the two problems that I face in China: the language and the food. But for now, I think for the language, I'm sharpening up, and for the food, I think for now I don't have any problem as far as food is concerned. Yeah. So okay. So like the same. Like, what brought you to China, and what are you doing in China? I didn't know about that.
Yeah, I guess most of my subscribers will know that I am actually in China doing a business with scale models. So I make scale models. So you have all these aircraft models in scale. They don't fly. They're just static display models. And normally I would commute between Hong Kong and Shenzhen because my office is in Hong Kong. But since, of course, with the pandemic, as of February 4th last year, the borders were closed. And myself being a foreigner, if I were to leave China, I would not be able to come back in on my regular, visa-free entrance. It would have to be something different. So it would not be possible for me to actually enter China once I step out. That would also mean that my business would basically be in jeopardy. So I have been staying in China ever since 4th of February with a constant visa renewal every 3 months. Yeah.
Okay. I get it.
Yeah. So basically, I was on YouTube as a viewer for most part of 2020, and I finally decided in this year that I will start my channel because if I don't start it, then I will still be procrastinating. So I finally started it on March 27 this year, and I obviously started my first video with my trip to Xinjiang, and this particular straight talk session was just something that I thought up like a month ago.
Wow,
trying to get and connect with as many people as I can and bring them on the show, people who are also like me, content creators on YouTube, and hopefully people who are of people from any ethnicity and any age group, anyone that would be willing to connect with me, and then we can have a chat, and then the people from my audience can get to know you, the people from your audience get to know me, and it should be a win-win situation. And we talk about China, we give our honest opinions about what we face that we are comfortable with, that we like, and maybe some adversities that we face, and we can all talk about it. And people who are watching the show, if they want to come to China, they can have a preamble on exactly what to expect, and to manage the expectations, right? Just like what you said about your home country of Cameroon. It is so much different from what most of us would think it to be. If we haven't actually gone there ourselves, we would not be able to know exactly what Cameroon is. For me, I would only know that Cameroon has a football team. Roger Miller,
Mhm.
right?
Uh,
So once again, Roy, I thank you so much for your time, to be on the show.
my pleasure.
Is there
It's
anything
my
else you
pleasure.
want to tell the audience before we round up?
Well, I'm really grateful. I'm really grateful being on your show. I'm really grateful for everyone who's watching me now. I'm really happy that I've graced your show and I've gotten to know you. I've made a new friend, and I'm sure the audience, of those who are watching me now, I'm sure I'm going to make also new friends from this show. So if someone is watching and want to be my new friend, just go try Business Connect with Roy, and you're going to find my channel. Hit me up there, and I hope I get to meet more and more friends. Thank you so much, Neil.
All right, Roy. Again, we'll have Roy's YouTube channel in the description below. Go over and check out his channel, like and subscribe as usual. And until the next Straight Talk, I am Noel Lee. Take care and see you guys.